Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I am Adrienne, I live in New York City. I love playing with makeup. And this is my Shop My Stash type of series, which I call my weekend makeup. Essentially at the beginning of the week, I have looked around and grabbed products that maybe I haven't really tried too much. They've been collecting dust. I've forgotten what I thought of them, and I use them all week long to try to formulate some opinion and hopefully do some thoughtful decluttering or pass them along or throw them out because they're not working anymore or rediscover a favorite. It's been kind of a mishmash of a journey. I don't even know what week it is. I think it's week 15. So I've been doing this for 15 weeks straight and I have learned quite a lot. This week is really no different. I feel as though this was a big learning week for me. I am surprised by some of the discoveries I made. So if you're interested in hearing about a mishmash of brands, this week I did Hourglass, Illamasqua, Shiseido, who else? Tarte, Huda, Natasha Denona. So I went for a little high-end week. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Alrighty, so we are not gonna do a put it on because I have the majority of it on my face. I actually don't have a lot of eyeshadow on. I will get to the reason why in a second. So let's just get this started. Tried and true, Good Molecules, silicone-free priming moisturizer. Love, love, love this. Loved it. Still using it up. This is becoming like slightly a project pan too, because I'm gonna use this. I am gonna use all of this. So I did use this a lot. I really loved it. I used this actually in conjunction with the Huda foundation stick. I thought these worked very well together. I would put this on my face and then I would put the stick foundation on, and even though it's not a great color match for me now, it's actually quite yellowy. I did get some color while I was in Florida visiting my mom, and I found that if I put this on and just blend it out with my fingers, I get a really nice finish, and it's actually what I'm wearing today on my skin, and I like it. It provides a nice medium coverage. I can build it up. I really like this foundation stick, and I'm glad that I didn't knock out the color a few weeks ago. So this is 220 Custard, and it's perfectly fine for when I have a little bit of color, which I do right now. So it seems as though this is going to be a great summer shade. So it works really well on this. Also works very well on my sunscreen. I am using the EltaMD UV Clear Broad Spectrum 46. I wasn't sure about this, but as I've used it consistently all week, I like it. I like it. I feel like it's a very, very good sunscreen, so I'm not mad at it. I thought I had some sensitivity to it. I think maybe I've grown accustomed to it during the week, but it's played well with this. And then the other foundation that I worked with was actually a foundation card. So this was a sample that I received. Where's the little card? Oh, so I received the sample of the Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. I used the sample card, the sample Linen 220. What is so interesting about this for me is that this little sample, this dot, I tried this foundation 7 times with that one dot. I needed only the most minuscule amount, and I could just dot, 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 and blend it. And it blended like a dream. I love this. I tried this last week a few times. The week before I tried it once, and then I was sealing it up again with a bobby pin. I mean, I really conserve my stuff with a bobby pin. And yeah, I got 4 wears out of it this week. So super impressed, so impressed, and just so impressed with the finish, which was this just beautiful radiant finish that wasn't over the top, that I actually ended up picking it up at the Sephora sale. So it really won me over, and I gotta say, don't snuff at these little cards, because when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, I'm not gonna get a full wear out of this. Like this is such a chintzy amount to like try a foundation. It's not. It's actually a really good amount. So anywho, try it if you have a sample card for it. I really highly suggest trying it because on my combo skin, it looks great. And it's super thin, a very, very thin formula. For concealer this week, I'm still sticking with the Soft Matte from NARS in Madeleine. I've been really enjoying it. I don't use a lot of concealer. I've been just concealing this little healing spot. I also did put a little bit of the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector. This is that peach one. For any place where there's a lot of melasma brownness on my skin, I would kind of put a little bit of this on first. It cancels it out, and then my foundation or concealer really does a good job. On a couple of days, I did brighten my under eye with the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Light. This one here, the original. I use a little bit of this and put it under my eyes. I don't do this every day, but if I feel like I haven't gotten a good night's sleep or I'm gonna be using a lot of purple-based eyeshadows, I do use it. All three of those products I love. A bronzer I use this week is the L'Oreal Lumi True Match Bronze It in the shade Light. I love this. I love how big the pan is. It's just this massive pan. I mean, it looks like I've made no dent, but I really go to town with this. And it's such a pretty color. I just dust it on and I can put it on anywhere, and it's light enough and deep enough that it gives me some color, but it doesn't ever look like I'm packing on too much. I love it. Also used the Illamasqua Spectacular Face Palette. This comes with a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. This one here. I thought I was gonna love this. Unfortunately, although the colors are really, really pretty, I don't love the blush and bronzer. They just kind of don't stay on my skin as long as their other blushes do. And the bronzer is a little patchy for me, a little patchy. I'm also not the biggest fan of this highlight. It's a gold highlight, but it's actually quite dry looking. So this was a bit of a dud for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. Normally though, I really do love Illamasqua's blushes, and to prove it to myself, I whipped out my other two blushes, and sure enough, I still adore them. I have Naked Rose, which is a beautiful, soft, cool tone color, and then I also have Lover, which is this peachy color. This is like one of the smoothest formulas. It just feels like velvet. Definitely feels a lot smoother than the one in that palette. And I find the longevity on these is incredible. I also whipped out this week the Haus Labs Color Fuse Blush in Açaí Sky. I love this blush. I love it so much that I actually purchased 2 more shades in it. So this is like the deepest shade. Then there's one that is, I think, watermelon something. It's like the red one. I bought that at the sale, and the hot pink one. So I picked those up. I did not like the 2 lighter shades I've been in store, kind of the orangey one as well as the lighter pink one. I just don't think they're worth it, but this looks scary, intimidating, but it's not. It blends out really, really well. I will show you. You just have to go ahead and put in the lightest hand, just 1 dip, and you put that on the cheek, and it just blends itself. I mean, it creates, I'm putting blush on top of blush, but I just want to show you. It creates the nicest flush, and it doesn't look patchy, and it just creates this like beautiful wash. Even on my fair light skin, a color like this can work. I am still using the Good Brow Day by Profusion in the shade Soft Black. It's what's in my eyebrows. I'm really loving this color and this formula. So I think it's a fantastic pencil. I think when I'm done with all my pencils, I would totally go back to this one. I used also my Hourglass Ambient palette, the Lighting Edit Unlock palette, the elephant one, this one here. I love this so much. My mom actually got it for me for Christmas. I love this packaging, and I hadn't really used this palette because I was trying to get through my old palette before I kind of started to treat myself. But when I started to use it this week, I realized I don't like it. I don't really love this bronzer. I really don't like either of these blushes. They don't have that lovely kind of ethereal quality that a lot of the more marbled blushes have from Hourglass. And so for that reason, I think I'm gonna give this a new home. As much as I love the packaging, I'm not gonna keep a product if it doesn't meet kind of my needs. And so unfortunately this one doesn't. When playing with that one, I actually went back to my tried and true, which I have hit pan on this. You could see the bronzer. I've hit pan here. I'm about to hit pan here. I'm about to hit pan here. I used this blush today and I used this on my eyes today as a bronzer, the finishing powders. I love this. I really, really love this. I think this is from like 2018. This is the Ambient Volume 4, the one in the pink. It's all grubby, whatever. I love this. So essentially, I'm just gonna keep this out and keep using it in between while I'm playing around with other products. And hopefully I hit pan on everything and feel like, okay, it's time to let it go. I'm gonna use it and love it, because turns out a replacement is not in the cards for me. Mascara, I use this week the Lights Camera Lashes by Tarte. I love this mascara. It's so creamy. It works really, really well with my lashes. It gives me just the right amount of like volume, and I don't need lengthening, but I just need a little bit of a curl held. And although I didn't curl my eyelashes today, it still folded them up a little bit. Normally they are straight pointed down. So I was able to do this. I love this mascara. I forgot how much I love it, and I'm so glad to have it back. On the other hand, as impressive as this is, I can't wear this. This is the Essence Like a Boss, Lash Like a Boss. This is waterproof, and although yes, it can create like a lot of drama, it is such a nightmare to take off. Such a nightmare to take off. And for that reason, I'm not going to use it any longer. I've been using it for weeks, and just every time I wear it, it's like I'm wearing this mascara for 3 days. I can't handle it. So this week I challenged myself to use some of my Natasha Denona palettes I have not yet used of hers. I had invested in the gold palette when it re-released not too long ago for a limited time. That's this palette here. Such a beautiful color story. However, I did not like this palette. I did not like a lot of these shadows. I will insert some looks as I'm kind of talking about them, but this shadow here, it's so thin and glittery. It needs so much to get you to adhere, like for it to adhere to your eyelids. And I use my Smashbox Photointensify primer, which I really love. But I also use the Too Faced glitter glue. I find like that one's very beneficial, but I just was really very unimpressed with that. I really love this mustard color. I adored this mustard color, and I even love this like deep teal. But I just kept coming back to like, why am I using this? I'm using this really for like these brownie shades, which brown I have in other palettes, this teal, and this kind of duochrome shade. And I said, you know what? I like another palette better than this from Natasha Denona. And I pulled out my Metropolis palette, which has a lot more colors and yet has a lot of similarities. You have these like mustardy tones in both, in all sorts of finishes. You have all these browns, you have greens, you have, you know, teal, you have, and this teal is much better performing than the teal in the gold palette. There's just a lot more variety here. So I think when I kind of like put them together, I feel like this one has everything I need about this one. So maybe I don't get this duochrome thing, but I have so many Cliona shadows that have this type of finish and JD Glow that I don't really need this. And I'm much more excited when I pick up the Metropolis palette. So for that reason, I'm gonna actually go ahead and declutter the gold palette, which is shocking. This is one of these situations where I coveted this for years. I kicked myself for not buying it when it initially launched. And every time I had some money, I just was like, why didn't I buy this? Everyone is like, this is the best palette. This is the best palette. Can I just also complain? This shade is crap, utter crap. This one here, this white glimmery thing, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing to it. I don't understand it. So this was more of a like fear of missing out situation. And I finally caved in, and I didn't even end up liking it. You see? So I think it's important for me that during this process, I keep touching the stuff that I think, oh, there's absolutely no way I'm going to declutter it. And that's like the Natasha Denona. I have a whole drawer of Natasha Denona. And I think, no, I'm going to keep everything of Natasha Denona. But I don't think that's true. I don't know that I'm going to keep everything. And so I also started to play with the Lila palette. And now this one, I'm still on the fence about. There are some colors I really love. I really adore. I love this shade. I love this shade. I will put it on. I will put it on. It is one and done. And I mean, for this one shade, I can't consider touching this palette. I really, and look, I'm doing it with my finger. And that is this color here, which is called Livid 146 DC. But I love it. I still want to play around with this, so this is definitely going to stay. It's in my rotation. So anyhow, this is exactly why I'm doing this project. It just teaches me I need to get through my stuff, and I can't listen to other people's opinions. I have to form my own opinions. But the only way I can form my opinions is to actually use my products. So I've been inspired, and I'm not even heartbroken about it. I feel so much better about the Metropolis palette and how much more I can get out of it. And I did create some beautiful looks with the eyeshadow palettes this week, so I'm not mad about it. For lips, finally lips. I picked up these two shades from Maybelline. They were Jessica Braun's like favorite shades. Shade 222 in Flush Punch and 235 in Warm Me Up. I think one was like a shade she used to wear when she was younger. That's like the Flush Punch. This one, it's so hideous on me. It looks neon on me. There's so much white in this color. Oh, it's so awful. And then Warm Me Up is okay. A little bit more deep rosy, but still it's not a great shade on me. So I kind of regret getting these. I'm gonna bring them to my sister. She's a lot fairer than I am. And so I'm thinking maybe they'll work for her. Never loved Maybelline's lipsticks. I just don't love the way they smell. I don't even love the way they feel. They're certainly not my favorite drugstore brand. If I was going to choose like one of the original drugstore brands, like a lipstick, I would probably go to Revlon first. And then what is on my lips right now, I just filmed a video on it. It's probably what's posted before this. This is the new NARS Afterglow Sensual Shine lipstick. This is a really pretty brownie color, except it shouldn't have been brown. I picked up the color Devotion. It should have been a mauve rose. It wasn't, and that's part of my video. It's a nice formula though, but I don't know that I could like recommend it for the price point. I'm glad I just picked up one. Also was wearing the Happy Kiss by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk. I will swatch it next to those other Maybelline ones. So this is Pillow Talk in the Happy Kiss formula. And actually this one I really like. And the reason I was swatching it was I was trying to decide if I liked the formula so much that I was willing to pick up another shade in it during the Sephora sale. And the answer was no, because even though I really like this formula, I don't trust these colors. Like this is nothing like Pillow Talk, and you could see how close it is even to this and its brightness. But since it's more sheer, it's a bit more flattering, but I don't know. I don't trust Charlotte Tilbury's colors in this line in particular. With the Matte Revolution I do, but just not with this Happy Kiss. And I also think like the Happy Kiss packaging is so cheap. It feels so light. It feels like the cheapest plastic. And the price point is something crazy, like $36, $34, $38. I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And even if I got it for 20% off, I just don't think I want it. I'm happy with this one color. I don't need it in another color. It's fine. I kept using this Tarte Shape Tape Stay Spray. And I have to say, it really did help my makeup adhere. You just shake it up really, really well until you can't hear it shake any longer. And then that's when you know it's that. And then you just spritz it, and it has almost this cucumber refreshing scent. It's really pretty, and it's a beautiful mist. I don't think a lot of people talk about this, but I certainly prefer this over All Nighter. So I don't know. If you are looking for a really nice mist, a really nice setting mist, I think that you would like this. This is pretty good. So go Tarte. Anyway, so that is my roundup for this week. I hope that you found that informative. I hope that you would consider subscribing, leaving a comment down below on your thoughts on maybe some of these products, and hitting the thumbs up if you like the content. I'm going to keep going with this series regardless. I will probably do a let's try all my products that I got from the Sephora sale. I think I'd rather do that than do any sort of recommendations or like what I bought, simply because I don't want to be encouraging folks to just buy things. I'm trying to go through my own process of culling down and really being intentional about what products I really, really love and use. And I kind of feel like if I just kind of give you all these recommendations, I don't know, that's just encouraging you to buy. And truthfully, it's really important that you hear why I recommend something, or when I'm talking about something and why it worked for me, hearing why it worked for me, because not all products work for one another, for each other. Like my sister and I are very, very different. We have full on arguments over like the quality of a product. I could love a product. I give it over to her. She despises it, but she is extremely fair, extremely fair. She has dry skin, different coloring entirely, and she just has different skin needs and makeup needs, and she doesn't wear any eyeshadow. I mean, like, we're just very, very different. And so, of course, we're going to have differences. And so I just say that with like, be wary of just like writing down a list of all the stuff that other people love and then going to town shopping, because I do that. I mean, like, hell, Jessica Braun could sell me anything. I love her. I love her energy. I love her channel. And when she like goes on and on about a lipstick, I'm like, oh, I want to try that lipstick. But look, duds in my world. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. I don't want this channel to be that. I want it to be just talking about the quality of a product and helping guide you and maybe even rediscover something within your stash already. So anyhow, we will talk soon, and I hope everyone has a great start to the week. Okay, take care, everyone.